بسم الله والحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Riad Ouarzazi welcome you to another episode of ROC Your Ramadan 2012, day 12. Yesterday we spoke a little bit about ikhlas, about sincerity, and I'd like to explore a little more on this very important topic of sincerity. Al-ikhlas, ruh al-amal. Sincerity is the soul of the actions or the soul of the deed. عمل لا إخلاص فيه كالجسد لا روح فيه. Amal, like a deed that has no sincerity, no ikhlas in it, an action that's got no ikhlas in it, it's just like a body that has no ruh, no soul. So that's why they say that the ikhlas, the sincerity, is the really the ruh, the soul of the actions. Ibn al-Qayyim, he even says that sincerity is the musk of the deeds itself, the musk of the actions. Here we say that they are, in fact, sincerity is the ruh, the soul of the amal. So I have about few things that will help us pave the way to acquiring ikhlas, to sincerity. But first, before I give you those things, before I share with you the things that will help us, acquire this beautiful quality of sincerity, we need to, in fact, talk about things that would be sort of that will come between us and sincerity, between us and ikhlas. I'm going to give you 5 things. First, we need to clean this heart from certain diseases in order to cultivate sincerity. You see, when you have a cold, let's say you have a flu, you go to a doctor and the doctor, he gives you a quick prescription, and then you take that medicine and then you're set to go. But if you need a heart transplant, may Allah forbid, or you need like a kidney transplant, you're gonna go to some sort of surgery. You don't go to a doctor and say, okay, let's do the surgery. There are certain things that have to be done before the surgery. Weeks before the surgery, they tell you not to eat certain things, not to do certain things, to stay away from certain things, to take certain medicine, to prepare your body, after so many tests, to prepare your body for that transplant. If it is, let's say, a heart transplant, they need to make sure that your body can accept that other heart, or make sure that your body can accept that other kidney or whatnot. So they need certain tests. Likewise, if you need to have an ikhlas transplant, an ikhlas, a sincerity transplant, you need to do certain things. You need to to go to certain tests to remove certain things from your body and make your body, to avail your body and make your body ready for this new transplant called sincerity, called ikhlas. 5 things, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, that would help us, or in fact 5 things that we need to work on to remove and get rid of, because these 5 things, they come between us and ikhlas. What are these 5 things? Number 1, at-tam', greed. Number 2, al-riya, showing off or show off, is a disease that comes between you and ikhlas. Number 3, al-ujb wal-ghurur, egotism and self-conceit. Number 4, ihtiqar al-akharin, abasement of others, belittling others. You're thinking that all others are low and you are higher than everybody else. And number 5, the 5th disease that in fact comes between you and ikhlas, is hubbul madhi wa thana, liking to be praised in front of others, or just liking to be praised in general. So these are the 5 things that in fact come between you and ikhlas. When we talk about greed, at-tam', Greed, people who are greedy. Not only greedy in terms of I don't want to spend, I want more, but greedy as in like liking what others have. They treat others not with ikhlas, just because they are greedy, in liking what they have. For instance, I'll give you an example. You have maybe a friend who's a doctor, and he works in this hospital. So you sort of, you treat him very nicely, that friend, because he's a doctor. You maybe even give him hadiyah, some sort of a gift, and the way you shake his hand and you smile at him all the time, you treat him nicely, you treat his family nicely. Why? Because you need his help. If you were to go to that hospital, or you need some help in that hospital, or maybe you need him to give you a discount if you were to go there, or maybe if you want to go and visit someone, in times where there are no visits, he will let you go in because he is, he's that doctor. So you treat him, specially. You hear this tama, greed in liking what he has or what he can do for you. You're not treating him with full sincerity as a human being, but because subhanallah, you may need his help at some point. So you're not sincere in that dealing with him. There's just like an example. For instance, here's another hadith. This hadith, or I'm going to show you a hadith about a person who came to Rasulullah, right? A person who came to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and he says, Ya Rasulullah, my family, ikhwati, akhawati, ammati, khalati, a'mami, my uncles, my aunties, my cousins, my brothers, my sisters, أعطيهم فيمنعونني, I give them but they don't give me back. I visit them, أزورهم ولا يزورونني, I visit them but they don't visit me. أصلهم ويقطعونني, أحلم عليهم ويجهلون علي, and I'm kind towards them and I have mercy towards them, but they have no mercy towards me. Oh ya Rasulullah, what should I do? Should I stop, untie that link of kinship between me and them? Just because I give them and they don't give me, just like because I visit them, they don't visit me, just like I'm kind towards them and they're not kind towards me. So what should I do? So should I just stop having connections with them? And sometimes we'll find ourselves in these situations. So what did the Prophet ﷺ say? The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said, قال لا يزال لك من الله ظهير عليهم ما دمت على ذلك. لا يزال لك من الله ظهير ما دمت على ذلك. He says that you are better than them. You're better than them as long as you keep doing what you're doing. Why? Because Allah is with you. Allah ظهير لك, يعني ظهير عليهم. So here, what the Prophet means is, as long as you're doing what you're doing, you are way better than them, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is sufficient for you. Allah is with you. So keep doing what you're doing. You're not doing it because you don't give them hadiyah because you want hadiyah back. You see? Tama. Greed. Like, I'm greed in liking what they have, or doing something for them so that you can get something back. Here there's no sincerity. I'm visiting you because I want you to visit me, or I'm giving you so that you can give me back. I'm kind towards you so that, these are your family, akhi. You're treating them for the sake of Allah with ikhlas. شرط الإخلاص ألا تنظر الجزاء من أحد إلا الله. One of the conditions of ikhlas is that you do not await a reward from anyone other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When you treat others, treat them again, not seeking reward from them, but seeking reward from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That would help remove this disease of tama', greed, and pave the road for this beautiful quality of ikhlas, of sincerity. And then Riad, showing off, kills the heart. In fact, is considered to be like a shirk al-khafi, the hidden shirk. showing off, doing things not for the sake of Allah, but for the sake of boasting and for the sake of other people, name and fame. You're holding a position, and you're coming, and then you feel like I'm the man. I'm not doing it for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but you're doing it for the sake of people, so that people say, I'm so and so. So and so. He is brave. He is courageous. He's mashallah, he's very generous. Yeah. And then you have al-ghurur wal-ujub, egotism and self-conceit. You liking yourself, mashallah. Liking oneself is another thing that would, in fact, is a disease that needs to be sort of removed and help to, and once you remove that disease, it will help pave the road towards ikhlas. And you have ihtiqar al-akharin, belittling others or abasement of others, treating others like they're solo and you're better than everybody else. And the last disease is hubbul madh, liking to be praised, liking, he's a sheikh, he's mashallah, I did this, jazakumullah khair. Brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen, when I ask you to like, to press that like button, really a lot of you misunderstood me. Not because I'm just a human being. I'm sure maybe you don't like what I say. Some of you may not like what I say. But for me, when I see that likes, is just how many people my messages are reaching out to. That's all. I'm not like what I say. Just want to see that my message is reaching to maybe 100 people, or maybe 200 people, or maybe so that I can maybe try to come up with some other methods or ways for my message to reach out to more people. So that's when I say, press the like button. So here, I'm not like seeking praise. La, please. Don't help shaitan on me. Somebody, like he says, رَجُلٌ فِي يَدِهِ بَعْرَةٌ, a man in his hand has a ba'ra. A ba'ra comes from ba'ir. It's like that fertilizer from the camel or cow. It's got, I'm not gonna say the word, but you know what I'm talking about. That fertilizer thingy. So he's holding it in his hand, and people say tamra. People say it's a date. He knows what he's holding. He's holding that piece of fertilizer, and people say, oh mashallah, he's holding a date. He's holding a date. That's a date. That's a date. فَصَدَّقَ النَّاسِ فَأَكَلَهَا. So as more people are saying, oh, date, mashallah, it's a date, and then he believed them and he ate it. He ate that piece of fertilizer. People are praising date, date, and then he believed them. No, would that benefit you? It wouldn't benefit you a bit, subhanallah. People, they say, sheikh, this guy, sheikh. And then Allah, he starts believing that he's really a sheikh. But he's really nothing. Like me, nobody. And people say, mashallah. If you are rich, let's say, and everybody says this guy's poor, poor, would they make you poor? You know yourself. Mashallah, you're wealthy enough. So if they keep saying that you're poor all they want, that's not gonna help you anything or decrease from your wealth. Likewise, if you're poor and people say, mashallah, this guy's so rich, he's rich, or she's rich, you know yourself, you're poor. But if they keep on saying you're rich, are they gonna make you a millionaire? You're poor, and people say, you're rich, he's rich. Is that gonna make you, mashallah, a millionaire? No. So, be careful of these 5 diseases. Now we're ready to talk about, the things that will help us cultivate sincerity. Once we do this bloodless heart surgery, again, to remove these 5 diseases that come between us and sincerity, now we are ready for the transplant. So, what are the things that will help us, inshallah, cultivate sincerity? Here they are. Number 1. Oh, time is up. Sorry. We're going to wait until tomorrow, inshallah ta'ala, for another episode of ROC Your Ramadan 2012, so that we can talk a lot more about, again, sincerity. Until then, until tomorrow, I say, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.